Hello, hello, hello. It is Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle makers. Four of the fam five is in the house. We've got Jay Pasqua, the strategic storytelling strategist. We've got Mr. Content himself, Brian Smart, and we have Denise Spiller, the relentless writer, relentless traveler, just plain relentless, gets it done. So we are excited to be with you guys on this. What day of the week is this? Wednesday, right? Is it
Wake
Wednesday?
up Wednesday.
Wake up Wednesday.
Wake up
Wake up Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I need to wake up. I almost forgot what day of the week it is. And so we are going to talk to you guys about being intentional. Why being intentional is important, what intentionality can do for your life, and how it can help catapult you towards the dreams that you have, towards the desires that you have, help you to cultivate and build the life that you really want for yourself. We're going to talk to you about getting off of autopilot, waking up and being intentional and using your precious resources, your time, your energy, your focus, using those things to benefit you and making sure that you're spending that energy, spending those resources on the things that are going to get you the results that you are looking for. So we're going to start today, like we have over the last couple of weeks, with the quote. I should have it handy. I just shared it. So give me a second to pull that up. And we're going to start with the quote, and then we'll work our way around the room. Let each of they're not my guest anymore. They're my team, my fam. Let each person of the fam five give their thoughts as they're listening, as they're letting this quote kind of sink in and see what comes up for them. Good morning, Sonia. I see you there. Let's see. Oh, hi, Mekdes. Welcome. Good morning. Let's see who's joined us. I see Bo. I see Thomas Shop online. I see Ama or Amma. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are getting started on this Wake Up Wednesday. Hello, mother. Y'all, mom's in the house. She said good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Hey,
Good
Latanya.
morning.
Latanya said good morning, y'all. So she is with us and ready to go. So let's start with the quote, and then we'll make our way around the room. Intention is one of the most powerful forces there is. What you mean, what you mean when you do a thing will always determine its outcome. And that's from Brenna Yovanov. Intention is one of the most powerful forces there is. What you mean when you do a thing will always determine its outcome. I like that. It resonated with me. I was going through a bunch of quotes yesterday that fell in the realm of supporting being intentional, and this was the one out of the pack that really spoke to me last night. Because when we talk about what you mean, we are talking about your intention. We're also talking about my favorite topic, your mindset. How are you going into the experience? What are you bringing with you? Are you bringing hope and optimism and an open mind and a vision of you successfully completing it? Or are you bringing stress and anxiety and so focused on whatever the problems are at hand that you have a hard time seeing the solution? When you're intentional with your time, with your energy, with your focus, what we're saying is that you are turned on, you're woke, you're awake, you're making sure that the things that you're doing, how you're spending those resources is going to get you to the desires, going to get you to the goals that you have laid out for yourself. So as I say always, everything starts with self-awareness. So first you got to be real clear about where it is where you're trying to go. I use often, you guys have heard me talk about taking a trip to the mall. And you get to the mall because there's this brand new store that you've heard about. It's got all the goods, the things that you've been wanting. And so you can't wait to get in and get that early sale. You want to be one of the first people to show up, but you've never been there before. So the first thing you do is you go to the directory and you look at the map to figure out where that store is in the grand scheme of things. And all those buildings, what are those big anchor stores? What's going to point me towards my direction? Good morning, Michael. And then once you figured that out, you've got that good data point. Okay, the store is over there. According to this map, I can walk in that direction. Then, but there's one piece of information that you're missing. Where are you? So you go right back to that same directory, that same map, and you look for that star that says you are here. So now you know where you're beginning, awareness, and you know where you want to go, your goals. So all you need to do is plot your course in between. That's your plan. That's the goal setting work that we do. You plot that course from where you are today to where it is you'd like to be, and you make that most efficient course possible. So you're not going to go, okay, I'm here and I want to get there. So I'm just going to leapfrog and magically appear there. We still can't click our heels together yet and end up where we'd like to be. We've got to put some thought into it. We have to create a plan. And in creating that plan, you start with the end goal in mind. Here's where I'm trying to get. Here's where I am. And you work yourself backwards. And you figure out how long it's going to take. What's a reasonable amount of time to apply? Have to have a deadline. You have to really focus in and prepare. So you've given yourself a deadline and you know where you're trying to end up. So you start working backwards all the way to today. These are the tasks that I need to do today. Here's what I'm going to do tomorrow to make sure I win the week. And here's what I'll do each week to make sure I have a successful month. Here's what I'm going to do over these next 3 months to make sure that the quarter is pushing me much closer to my goals. Here's what I'll do each quarter so that by the end of the year, I've hit my goal for 2023, 2024. That's how it's done. Careful, consistent planning, and then it's your choices. What am I doing each day? Why am I doing it? Are the activities that I'm participating in getting me where it is I would like to go? And if the answer is no, you don't beat yourself up. You congratulate yourself for figuring it out. And then you pivot, you shift, you make sure that you've integrated the things that you've learned along the way. And then you keep walking, 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 step by step, choice by choice to the goal that you have in mind. That's what it means to be intentional. You have to turn autopilot off and actually engage in your own life and realize that all the decisions that you're making day in and day out are either going to push you there towards the goals that you have, they're going to stagnate you and keep you standing still, or even worse, they'll move you backwards. So you've got to be honest with you. It doesn't matter if you're impressing the next person. You have to be honest with you and go, am I using the resources that I have? We could always have more. Things could always align better. But if we just take a look at what we actually have and be honest about whether or not we're using that well, are we using the things that have already been gifted to us? Are we using those things well? And where we find places where we're not, that's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to make some adjustments and start to accelerate your life towards the place where you're trying to get. So that's what we're talking about. So let me read the quote one more time. Jay, you were on first, so we'll go with you next. Intention is one of the most powerful forces there is. What you mean when you do a thing will always determine the outcome. Brenna Yovanov. So, what comes up for you, Brother Jay, when you hear that?
What comes up for me, I'm gonna start. I always start with scripture. I started doing that, so I'm gonna keep to it. So Luke chapter 14, verse 28. Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? Now, at just by that cursory review of that verse, you're thinking maybe it's about building something, building a tower, but really it's about building that goal. And how do you build that goal? You build it with intention. So you sit down and you estimate that cost. You think about it, you ruminate in it, and then you act. But it starts with that intention. And if you don't have that intention, you're you're basically going in a direction you think is going to be okay, but you don't know, right? Unless you have that intention set. Look at it another way. You're going to a place you've never been before. You get in your car. and most of us have GPS already in our cars, and so you plot the course. If you don't plot the course, right, you're gonna have to pull over to gas station and get an old map, and if you don't have a GPS, um, you have to pull over and plot your course as you're going. So if you just start out with the intention, put it in there, and then go along your merry way, and you'll be able to get to your location. And so this is it. The intention is your GPS for life, for your daily chores, for what you got to do during the day, for that goal that you want to achieve, right? That's the intention, and you have to set it. Back to you, Cassandra.
Love it. Love it. Your intention is your GPS. And what he said, that was, I was just picturing him driving down the street and he hadn't set his GPS. And the folks who created GPS and put that in our cars were smart enough where they don't allow us to set it while we're in motion, right? We actually have to pull over. That's a stop. That's a pit stop that you're going to have to take and slow your course down to getting to your destination. Whereas if you set it in the beginning, if you're intentional, if you already know where it is that you're trying to go and you've already plotted your plan out, you have a much easier road. If you don't, you've got to you're just bobbing. Yesterday I talked about a dinghy in the ocean just floating around. Eventually it's going to land somewhere. But if there's no sail, if there's no one driving, in control, it will just aimlessly bob around until eventually, hopefully, it hits land. We don't want our lives to be that way, but that's what autopilot is. It's like that little dinghy just bobbing out in the ocean. But as soon as you wake up and you realize, I've got some control here, I have some responsibility here, there are things that I can do to plot my course to get me back on course if I get off. Which way is the wind blowing? How do I adjust my sail? I sound like I know something about boating. I don't, but it sounds good, right? You get my point. I've never done it, but I've seen it. I've seen it. And so you adjust that sail and you catch the wind, and now the wind is working with you, helping you get to where it is you're trying to go, instead of you out there just on your own bobbing around at the mercy of the wind. When you're on autopilot, you're just at the mercy of whatever external circumstances are going on around you. But as soon as you wake up and you take the helm and you adjust according to where you are trying to go, now you're in control, and the wind becomes another resource. It's working with you, accelerating your path. So that's just popped in and popped out. Yeah, don't let me sell your boat, guys. That's not my thing, but the analogy worked. That was good. Come on, somebody. All right. So next up, let me see. We've had a few more people come in. Bola Tito says, good day. Ronnie Cyrus Jackson, our favorite author, one of our favorite authors, is in the room. Beautiful morning, fam. I will see your gorgeous face tomorrow. I'm so excited about being at your book signing. And my husband's coming with me too. So I've got to follow the link, and I'm going to get a ticket for him. And both of us are going to come and cheer you on, Ronnie, because I am so proud and excited for you. Grand Rising, everyone. Is that you, Brian, still showing up as LinkedIn user for me? And then somebody else said, beautiful morning, sis. Whoever said that, drop your name, because you're showing up for whatever reason as LinkedIn user instead of by name. Have a good day said, what time do we actually start? I always catch the middle or end and I'm lost. That's why I try to go back. Have a good day. And reference the quote or whatever it is that's bringing us. That's kind of our focal point for the day, because I know people are kind of coming and going the whole time. I actually start Tuesday through Friday at 7:15 a.m. Central Daylight Time. So that's when you will find me at the top of the hour. And I actually started a little bit late today, so you didn't miss much. I'm going to repeat the quote again in just a moment. Let's see. Happy Wednesday, my able coach, from Michael. Hey, Michael, so glad you're here. Rashim A Green or Rashimia Green. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think we've said hello to everyone. Quite a few folks. Throw me a life jacket, sis. See, that I could do. Now, see, Shanna understands. The analogy was good, but in all actuality, the life jacket I can get to you. I don't know how me and that sail might we might have some issues. So I'd have to have an able-bodied sailor in the boat with me. But yes, I will throw you a life jacket. I got you. All right. So I think Denise, you were next in the room. So let me go ahead and mute after I read the quote one more time for everyone, and then we'll see what resonates with you this morning. So the quote is, let's see, where'd it go? About to lose. Here we go. Nope, it's jumping around on me. Come on, technology. Intention is one of the most powerful forces there is. What you mean when you do a thing will always determine the outcome. Brenna Yovanoff. So I'm going to mute and we'll hear from Denise now.
Good morning. Sorry I wasn't on mute. You know, my puppy over here barking and I was giggling. I don't know if y'all can hear me chuckling. I just realized that I wasn't on mute when you said, I'm going to mute and let you have the mic. So hopefully I wasn't disturbing, but I have to directly relate that to what's going on with me, like in this moment. It's so my intention has been so clear. Let's just say for this week, right? And I love what you guys are saying about, you set your foundation. For some of us, it's not always so easy. Some people can be focused, they can be clear, they can be intentional, and they don't seem, at least from what I'm looking at from the outside, they don't seem to get off track. And I feel like, for me, I'm resetting my intention every day. And what I realized last night, as I had to make it's been a tough decision for me. And I was looking at this choice that I had, holding on to something in my life that's causing me a great deal of stress. And so, as you guys know, but I'll share very briefly with the listeners, is just that I've been writing for a living for going on 3 years. And as I started a business and more opportunities opened up, I slowly had to start, in order to maintain my sanity, let certain writing jobs go, contracts go. I have to step into this thing, this train that you guys have sort of gotten on. It's running its course. And sometimes I feel like I can't keep it going. I'm questioning why did I start this? It's so big, but I can't do both. Either I'm going to step into this thing and be this bigger version, this bigger vision, step into the reality of what's happening that I really wanted. I set the intention a while ago, or I'm going to keep bouncing back and forth between what? Fear and faith? That's where I was sitting last night. I was like, oh my goodness, this contract is driving me crazy. But if I let it go, I'm not getting it back. It's not coming back. So I was sitting between being so sure it's time to let it go because it's causing stress and it's not serving the greater purpose or the team, right? And then sitting in my fear of what if something doesn't work out in 3 months and this contract is gone? What if the big dream doesn't happen? I'm like, okay, that's not cool. I had to convince myself that I can't be in between faith and fear. I had to hear you and Brian's voice. Y'all just said it the other day. Faith and fear can't exist in the same place. You may know that factually. You may know it. It doesn't matter in the moment that you choose fear. It doesn't matter in the moment that you stay intent on being conflicted or confused. And so I had to reset myself last night. I had to take a deep breath. I had a really good talk with God, and I was like, this is the dream you put on my heart. My dream is so much bigger than myself. There is no way it came from within. It came, like you said, it was like a divine download 5-6 years ago. And I had to look up and say, I trust you. We're going to do this thing. I wrote an email. I have to be honest, my fingers were kind of trembling. I wrote the email. I still didn't send that thing to this morning. I was just like, if I send it, I'm done. But I'm not done. We're just beginning. And I had to be willing to be intentional about my growth, the growth of my company, and the growth of my dreams. The dream was always bigger than me, But in real time, it gets a little scary. And on the back end of that, I just have to say I did close that door this morning, which was honestly like 2 hours ago, because I didn't have to wake up by alarm this morning. I had set the alarm, but it went off while I was already up, you know. I got another email from a whole different person that I reached out to 4 months ago. And I'm like, oh God, you're so funny. I always tell God, you're so funny. I feel like he was just looking at me, waiting for me to make this decision, to step into that intention, to be very intentional about letting go of something that was no longer serving my needs, my life, or my purpose. And when I finally looked over and said, I trust you, I can't see the top of the staircase yet, I know it's going up, I'm gonna let this thing go. And a couple hours later, which was just 2 hours ago, this other email arrived and said, you know, I never really looked at that email you sent me. Love what you're doing. I want to be on board, from a whole nother source. So I was like, see, but God, you need to stop playing. So
you can't feel a closed hand, Denise. You can't feel a closed hand. As long as that hand was holding on so tight to what was, there was no room for the next gift, the next level to come. And that's what when you push send on that email, you opened your hand. And by opening your hand, you opened yourself up for your next blessing. You better work.
I appreciate that's what I'm talking about. I appreciate that reminder. It's just a reminder for me that, and for anybody that sort of feels like they're all over the place and feels like they aren't moving in intention, you might have to reset it. You might have to reset it every 10 minutes on a bad day. Every 20 minutes, might have to take a walk and say, okay, what was the intention for today? It might be moment to moment. It may not be for the week. Some of us can't operate like that. I might start out very intentional on Monday, and maybe Monday afternoon I have to remind myself, what am I doing today again? So, and that's okay. Our approach is all different, as long as you do what works for you. Stay faithful, and remember that fear and faith, they don't operate in the same space.
They cannot coexist. They cannot. One's going to win. One is going to win. Yes.
All right. I'm going to mic up this time.
Okay. I hope that Denise's encouragement, I don't even have to hope. I see the hand claps. Shanna said beautiful. So people are responding. She said slow and steady wins the course. And I just want to remind you all that we're human. And as humans, we need grace. Not only do we give it to others, but we have to give it to ourselves. And when we have those days where the fear is rising, that's not a time to beat yourself up. That's not a time to go, oh, I guess I don't have what I thought I had. I guess I'm not as strong as I thought I was. No, you're human, and you're having a human experience right now. And when you realize that you have it, you take a breath and you do what she did. You recalibrate. I forgot what she called it, but I'm always talking about recalibrating for some reason. You swear I was a mechanic too. I'm not that either. But you recalibrate, and then you get back into what it is that you have set, the intention that you set. And that's what she modeled for us. And in that transparency, she's saying that can be any of us. Not that can be, that is, that will be. We will have those moments. And what you don't want to do is allow that moment to take over. You experience it, you honor your feelings, like, okay, I'm having a little fearful moment right now, but you talk to it. But I don't have to be afraid, because I serve someone who is bigger than I could ever be. Someone who has bigger dreams for me than I could ever have for myself. And then once you start to watch that fear shrink. When you start showing up with your faith, that fear doesn't have any choice but to run. It's going to get out of the way. When she opened her hand by pressing send on that email that was causing her that angst, that little bit of anxiety, she opened her hand up for what was next. As long as we're like this, that's why it's so beautiful to give. That's why it's so beautiful to collaborate and to share. We create opportunities to collaborate more than we create opportunities to compete. Because in our collaboration, we're better, we're bigger, we're stronger. We have a diversity of ideas. We had an experience earlier this week. Denise sent something to us that was great, just as it was, right? And she just asked us to put some more eyes on it and to review it and give her some input to make sure everything, really we were making sure that our information was accurate on what she had created. But then Jay, who has a gift of making something visually appealing, one of his gifts, And by the time he took what she had done, it elevated to a whole nother level. And we were all like, dang, we didn't even know it could look like that. It looked good the way it was. But it went from good to great. It went from well done to polished and professional and something you can stand behind and put in front of anybody, anywhere. And we're like, whoa. That's the beauty of the collective. That's the beauty of sharing. She didn't have to do that, but in putting it out there, she opened her hand to us. She opened her heart to our ideas, and what she began kept getting better and better and better, and it elevated. And that's the beauty of the collective, y'all. And I hope that people start to catch fire of the Fam Five and what it is. It's about community and collecting and bringing in ideas and being stronger as a group than we could be on our own. And that's what it is. And that was a real life experience that we all had. And ever since we started collaborating, we've had both ends of the spectrum. We've had technology issues. LinkedIn then kicked me to the curb, y'all. I got a LinkedIn ankle monitor on right now. They will not let me leave. They will not let me be great. I can't log in to my LinkedIn account. But guess what? I'm all over LinkedIn right now because the people who are in this room with me are streaming to their LinkedIn. And so better together than as a whole. I could say I've been doing this for a long time. I have built up my audience. They looking for me. I'm not going to have all these people sitting up on stage with me taking my shine, but my shine is still there. And the light is brighter because of all these new perspectives, additional ideas. They're going to take what I have and build it and make it stronger. And that's exciting to me. My hand is open. Their hands are open. And because of that, we're all receiving on a level that we didn't even expect. We just liked each other. We just knew that there was some energy and some synergy there and that we should figure out some stuff to do together. We didn't know it was going to take off like wildfire, but it did because we opened up. And so I want to encourage you guys, find your crew, find your group, be a part of a community, a collective, because when you're down, and all of us have been down at different stages, you've got the collective to lift you up, to keep encouraging. No, you can't stop. You might not be able to take the steps. So guess what? I'm going to carry you. The collective is going to pick you up and we're going to carry you forward. That's the beauty. So I'm going to read the quote again, and then we're going to hear from Mr. Content himself, and we'll see what Brian has in mind and in store for us today. Intention is one of the most powerful forces there is. What you mean when you do a thing will always determine the outcome. Brenna Yovanoff. And I saw somebody gifting. I'll have to scroll back and see who that was, but I see you, TikTok, and I appreciate you. Good morning, Campbell. Shanna says community is unity. Oh no, Demi said, hey. Welcome everybody. Keep coming in. We're just a minute or so, actually less than a minute. We're just a few seconds away from hearing from Mr. Content. I was trying to see who sent the gift so I could properly thank you. I saw it go by. It was a big old beautiful red heart. And we're all about the love. That was Hannah Harley sent me a heart. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I really do. And especially the heart, the love. There's never enough love. My mom says, yes, the Fam Five are awesome. She has adopted everybody. So she has 6 kids all by herself and had the audacity to take my 4 friends too. So Brian, can you, I've talked for a minute. Do you still remember the quote? Are you ready to go? Yeah. All right. Let me mute. And actually, I think we're okay. Go ahead and unmute. And that way the folks on LinkedIn can hear. Everybody else can hear me when I respond to y'all, and LinkedIn can't because I'm muted. And Martha said, good morning, beautiful souls. Martha, you are a beautiful soul. I'm glad you're here. Go ahead and unmute my Brian.
So I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Again, technical issues have been prevalent these last few days. But, we're working through it. No big deal.
Working through it.
Today's topic is evident of how we're working through it, right? Of having an intention, right? And it goes back to what you were saying when you first started this conversation, Denise. It's about being in a ship and having a course, right? I always talk about having a definite objective. I talk about it
Mhm.
to my audience. I talk about it to my children. I talk about it in my business relationships. I was in a meeting yesterday morning talking about the exact same thing. And there's something to be said for being out there in the ocean, not knowing where you're going, adrift. And it reminds me
Adrift.
of a saying about drifters and non-drifters. So, I'm a note taker, and I was talking to Jay last night about being a drifter and a non-drifter. And I like to start with what you shouldn't be, because everybody knows what they should be. So let's start off with what a drifter is. So a
Okay.
drifter lacks major purpose, right? That's what Denise was saying. A drifter, because of that lack of purpose, lacks self-confidence. And because of that lack of self-confidence, they also lack imagination, right? And
Mm.
that's probably one of the critical pieces, Cassandra. That's mindset, right? When you're definite about what you want to do, when you become a non-drifter, you start to come up with ideas out of nowhere. Everything starts to come to you. You have your own mind, you're in control of your own mind, and you use it for all of its purposes, right? You're always engaged in doing something definite. You're well organized. You have a major goal in life. You set minor goals, and that leads you towards your grand scheme, your definite objective, right? Your tone of voice, the quickness in your step, there's a sparkle in your eye. You make decisions quicker. Everyone around you can feel and sense that you're a non-drifter, right? Some people acquire habits that make them destined to be successful in life, while other people acquire habits that lead them to a more poverty-stricken life. That's the
Mm.
difference between being intentional and not being intentional. You have to set a course for your life, and you have to know where you're going. You have to adjust the sails as you're going, but you can do that because you have a definite objective.
Right.
Everything else starts to fall by the wayside. You become ill-tempered when you haven't set that definite objective. You
Right.
overconsume everything, whether it's food, conversations, music that you shouldn't listen to. You lack enthusiasm. All of that to say that when you have a definite objective, when you become a non-drifter, you put those distractions to the side. You know where you're going, you set that course, and you get there. Regardless of what you encounter along the way, you get there. So I've heard so many people say in the last few days, and I can't help it because I'm focused now. I hear what people are saying, so I'm
Mhm.
just gonna land the plane.
Okay. You landed it well, my brother. Thank you very much. And we are all non-drifters, and that's part of what attracted us to one another, because like attracts like. And so that was one of the things, like, man, if we could just come together, we could really do some things, because individually everybody's chopping it up. They're getting stuff done. But man, what could happen if we came together? And we didn't know the answer to that. And it's still being revealed to us. But man, you can feel the momentum. And so, yes, a non-drifter. I'm glad that the sail, the boat is sticking, because it just gives me such a powerful visual. And visualization is important. What you can see, what you can believe, you can bring about. My business card says we believe to achieve. And I was surprised. I had mentioned to Eric the other night, I think is it in your email tagline or somewhere? It said, Eric says believing and achieving. I'm like, there's another place. There's another place where we overlap, where we see things the same way, where we're moving in the same direction. Good morning, Pam. I see you there. Thank you for joining. And hello, Maysel. So that's what you can't be adrift. That's what we mean by waking up. Wake up. Be intentional. Plug into you, to your own life, and take control of the reins, and guide yourself in the direction that you're actually trying to go, versus just being on autopilot and ending up wherever you end up. You're more valuable than that. You're more deserving than that. Your life matters more than that. Autopilot, maybe when we're in recovery, we need some rest time. autopilot should be a very temporary situation. You want to be intentional and in control and steering in the direction that's going to get you where you need to go. That's what we mean. That's what Wake Up Wednesday is all about. Now, Eric, I see you and Brian's video just kind of dropped, so I'm not sure if you can still hear me, but you're up next. If you're able to unmute and share your thoughts, we are ready to hear them. We'll see what's going on with their technology. Are you able to unmute, Eric? There he is. Well, there you go. All right.
I'm looking for a charger because, of course, my phone is dying in the airport. I'm still in the airport.
I thought you were kidding.
I know. No, I'm still in the wonderful airport.
Wow.
So, yeah, no, I got in this morning, and then my friend was coming in and didn't have a ride, so I came back pick up.
Oh,
So,
you're picking your friend. Okay, you're
yeah,
doing
yeah, and my phone is literally gonna die. But I had to be here for the Fan 5. I know I had to be there for you, and so I'm literally gonna break out and head home and get some sleep because I need it.
Yes.
I had to be here
I'm
regardless.
glad you're here. I am glad. We are
I'm
glad
asleep.
that you're here.
Me and Jay especially, we need to get our sleep. We've been
Yes,
up
y'all
since
do.
4
Yes,
o'clock
you
this
do.
morning. Paulette, you gotta go to sleep too.
Wherever you are, Paulette, in the
Wherever
great
you are,
UK,
Paulette.
it's time to get some rest. That's the
So I'm
other thing
listening.
about the collective is sometimes we feed off of each other, and before you know it, hours have passed and you don't even realize it because you're just in it. So I know your battery is low and you're in a difficult spot. Did you want to share anything quickly, or you're just tapping in and saying you're here to
Just
support?
tapping in to say that I don't even know if I'd be awake if it wasn't for y'all. Like, I mean, just this love, the energy that we've created. I was thinking about all the stories that I'm going to request from Jay last night when I was going to sleep. Like, I was thinking about, could Cletus move to Chicago and start a car? Like, all the stories with Cletus, and
I would like to interview Cletus about mindset and see
yes.
how his mindset has gotten him to where he is today.
Can we do that Saturday? Can for Saturday story time be Cletus mindset interview? Like that
I
would
love
be
it.
that would be incredible.
I'm here for it.
I feel like that's why I woke up this morning. So I'm gonna go because I've done my work.
You've done your work.
I love y'all.
You, Eric.
Have a
love
great
you
morning.
Too, and get some rest. Get some rest.
Yes. I'll text y'all when I wake up.
Okay, perfect. Ashana, I'm probably butchering your name, but I see you shared the live and wanted to acknowledge and thank you so much for that. We are coming close to an end. So Brian landed his plane, but we're about to land the whole thing. We're going to close with the quote one more time for those of you that are still listening. Take it in. Spend some quiet time with it. You've heard our points of view. What comes up for you? Feel free to leave a comment and share what that quote does for you, or anything that we said today that may resonate, or anything that you haven't had the opportunity to say that you'd like to add to the discussion. We would love to hear from you because we are all learning and growing and evolving together. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time. Have a good day. 7:15 a.m. Central is what time we'll be back. Tomorrow is Thursday, Thankful Thursday. So we will talk about gratitude, the power of gratitude as a tool, gratitude as a way of life, gratitude, how beginning and ending your day with it will really get you through and change that mindset so that you're able to get through whatever is happening externally. So we'll have another good conversation with you guys tomorrow. And now we're going to end with the quote. Intention is one of the most powerful forces there is. What you mean when you do a thing will always determine the outcome. Brenna Yovanov. So what you mean, set your intention, set that mindset, visualize yourself accomplishing your goals, having the life that you intended. See yourself, allow yourself to feel it, to actually experience it as if it has already happened. Your brain doesn't know any better. What you fantasize, what's going on in here, your brain doesn't know that that's a fantasy, that's not reality. So start to train your brain to see you winning, to see you in those places in those spaces with those people, having the life that you desire, and watch the external start to align. And just like pushing the send on that email today, 2 hours later, the next thing had arisen. So see yourself winning and watch you win. It's going to happen, but it starts here. Before you ever take an action, set that intention and believe in you, and believe in the fact that you deserve to have the life that you determined to have. You can do it. Let's see, a couple of more things came in. Hey, Ronnie, your faith comes into play with control of your mind, your confidence, and your habits. When you have faith, you have focus and definite of purpose. And that's Mr. Content himself. All right. So we are ready to close out the day. I will see you guys back here tomorrow for Thankful Thursday. Have a blessed, wonderful Wednesday. And more than anything, wake up. Be intentional. Set the course for your day and then drive that course all day long. And we'll hear more about it tomorrow on Thankful Thursday. Bye, everybody. Love you too, Shanna. Bye, guys. Thanks, Fam 5.